about it. So I'm glad I'm part of this dialogue today. Nice to meet you.
I'm Fedora Kini from Asian Cocoa Chocolate Production. We are just into cocoa business. Make cocoa out of chocolate from right here in Liberia. We are located at Bayview, Soproni.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Liberia. I'm the founder of Cheddar Housekeeping Services. Cheddar Housekeeping Services was founded in 2015. I'm into housekeeping services. I do find maids. I recruit, train, and find maids and provide maids for home. We are also into janitorial services. We provide babysitting for homes. We are into fumigation. For me, my business is all about women empowerment because we have a lot of single mothers, we have a lot of school dropouts, a lot of women out there don't have nothing to do. So we actually established this business to be able to empower women. So at the end of the day, I'm able to send out women out to do babysitting. I'm able to send them to do housekeeping work. We call it house girl in Liberia. So now when somebody need a house girl, they don't have to just get someone from the community or get anybody that you don't know. You just come to our business, come to check our housekeeping services. We have people trained and ready to work. And then at the end of the day, it's all about women empowerment. I'm really focused on women empowerment. I want to empower women. Women have been suffering in Liberia. We have single mothers going through a lot. I just want to focus on women empowerment, and that's it.
Good morning, Zola. My name is Princess Hardman. My name is Princess Hardman. I'm part of Cheddar Hospital Series. Operations for Bass.
And I'm Maureen Tia, and I'm one of the coordinators of the dialogue.
I guess I'll reintroduce myself too. I'm Charlene Carey, the moderator for today. Okay, so thank you all for your introductions, and thank you again for coming. It's obviously our pleasure having you here today. This is our first dialogue, our very, very first dialogue. So we're going to stumble a little bit along the way, but have a little bit of patience with us. So let's get into this dialogue, right? We're talking about female entrepreneurs and business owners. So the first question that I guess I should ask is, are we all registered businesses? Yes. Everybody's registered? Wonderful. Now let's talk about the registration process. How do you all feel the registration process is here in Liberia? I already see her calculating. So what's the registration process like in Liberia for a business owner, a Liberian, or a female business owner? I keep saying Liberian, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I feel like I'm Liberian.
There you go, thank you. So we're all Liberian here, right? Good. So how do you all feel about the registration process? How was it? Was it smooth? Did you have any challenges? Was the turnover time, what you expected, or was it too long? Was it short enough? Let's talk about that before we get into anything else. I'm not going to start this way, but let's start with this side.
Our registration process took us a very long time because at the end of the day, people wanted to bypass the system. That's the only way you get things done fast. So we had to bypass the system, get somebody that is working there to help us out because it took months to also get our certificate. So we just had to do what we had to do.
And I think that lends its fact, I have to register my business here, but I actually was helping a friend, re-register his business. And I believe that lends itself to the fact that nothing is written down. So it's not, the process is not clear. So you come today and somebody tells you one thing, you come another day, it's something else. And I think there's a bottleneck where there's one person that has to sign off on all these documents. So that also, again, delays the process. So I think for me, from my observation, those are the things that I observed, that I think if there was a clearly defined process, like step 1, you come in, say hello, step 2, present your document, step 3, and or someone who could help you and tell you these are the things that you need. You need your business plan, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to have been this place or that place, you know. So none of that is there. So you get there and you find out all this stuff, you know. So it's not like beforehand that you can pull up a website or you can go and get a brochure that'll tell you this is what you need to register your business, whether it's a sole prop or a corporation or any of that stuff. So that's what I observed.
Any other feedback?
I'll give my 2 cents.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
jump,
You need your 2
jump on,
cents.
sorry, I'm gonna jump on what you said. Because one of the biggest issues that I've noticed is, well, it's great if you have a lawyer, because then your lawyer will take care of everything. Similar to what you said, in order to bypass the system, right? And so if you have a lawyer, they can take care of that. But even having a lawyer meant them having to chase and chase and chase. And it's not just the first registration, it's the renewal every year.
Yes.
COVID hit, everything was shut down. My renewal was delayed by a month because the offices were closed, and they fined me $100 for being late on my renewal. So like, there are aspects. There is no communication. I don't think the people, and I don't think it matters if you're male or female. I think that we all get lost in this process. But it's also, they don't tell you what else you need to know. That you need to check in with the Ministry of Labor, how to have your contracts written. There's no communication or telling you that you are responsible for registering with MOL. You're responsible for, depending upon what your business is. For me, it's WASH, that I have to register with WASH. And that communication doesn't exist here. And so then what happens is somebody shows up at your door in the middle of your business, usually when you're very busy, and then they're wanting their small on the side. And I'm going to pull the corruption out right now because it hurts everybody in this room. Because you can't afford to not be working for a day. And so it causes a lot of problems.
Very interesting. Well, that's good to hear. Not good to hear, but good to know. And it's also what you said, Marina, right? Marina, for you to actually give us solutions, kind of give us ideas as to how to fix the problem. We all know there's a problem, and we all know that we have to fix the problem. So it's really good that you inputted some ways for us to fix the system, kind of having things written down, like a good structure where you can just go and read and say, it's supposed to take 10 days. If it takes 15, then there's a problem. But yeah, it is a good idea.
I heard this morning somebody who was trying to renew their registration. You know the latest problem was no electricity.
We got electricity, yo.
Yeah. Immigration says the same thing. I have to do all the photocopying for them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any current.
Wow.
Hey, I just want to interject something else that I learned during the process. So because of COVID, my friend wasn't doing any business. Everything was shut down. And so they were insisting that he had to pay for that year that he had not been in operation. And he said, but the COVID, this was a national thing. And they told him that he had to write a letter and let them know that we're not doing any business. So if ever during the course of your business that you're unable to perform your business, you have to write and notify them and let them know. That's the only way they will give you, I don't know whether a discount or they will recognize the fact that you have not been doing business for, if it's a period for over, I guess, 3 months, 6 months, you have to, and I'm like, where is that written down? So please, everybody here, during your business and everything, anytime that you are not performing your business, you have to write a letter and notify them so that it doesn't affect you negatively when you go to register or renew. Okay?
So, can I just speak to that? She brought up a very important point. So I was fortunate to have attended one of the seminars at ARA. And then it brought up that point wherein you have this gap in your business, like you register your business in January, maybe 1 or 2 reasons you decided to give a space and you did not notify
LRA or business registrar. So they told us that once they are not informed, if your business go for 5-6 months, 5-6 years, depending on the time that you register, you're gonna pay all of the taxes in that gap. I was like, wow. They said yes, you have to. So I was like, but how many people know about this? Many people don't know.
So that's a conversation of communication,
Sure.
right?
So I was like, really? They said yes, and you have to pay. Whether you know or not, you have to pay. So thank God she brought it up. I was also part of that seminar and I got to know about it, and I tried sharing the information to business owners. So we that are here today, we are blessed to have the information. Once you know you have this low problem with your business and it is registered, it's better you notify LRA, write a letter, and you put a halt on your tax payment until you are back on course.
Wow. So it's the penalty of not knowing.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think that's where the reluctance comes into registering your business. So, like I can register a business today and then work to get it started. But in the time, maybe it takes me a year to get it to where I need it to be. That time, I'm held liable for it. So I have to pay the taxes, I have to renew it, and there's just no working around it. So that's why, you hold on to the registration, because once you do it, that's it. No backing out.
And the other thing they don't tell you, and it's actually so glad we're having this conversation, is about the signboards. So you actually have to pay a fee to have a signboard. If it's not on your building, so maybe you're off the street small, and you want to put a sign saying, my business is down here, you are actually, at MCC, they told us at first it was $180 every 6 months. I said, it's cheaper to register my car. That's crazy. I will remove the board. I can't afford to do that. And then the actual proper agency that's responsible for that contacted us because they saw the board. They said, no, it's $75 a year. Okay, well, there's a very big difference between $180. So the problem is, like you're saying, the people at the different agencies, they don't know. So they're just kind of throwing out information. So I think that one of the key takeaways is always ask somebody else, because the first answer is not always the right answer.
Yeah. True. Very, very true. Very true. Well, thank you. Thank you all for your feedback.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other input? No? I don't want to miss anybody's, we're all frustrated. Let's all talk about it.
So funny.
Here we go.
So we said all the bad. And that is true. Like everyone already said, the good part about the business registry is for Liberian business. The fees is encouraging for us to register our businesses and do business in Liberia, but just that. So for foreigners, they have to register a new business $900. For Liberian, it's like $25 to $35 for a business. So that is fair that the fees are on that side. I must applaud the business registry for that. As a Liberian, it's easier, finance-wise, easier for the price to register a business. So just to give the good to them.
Thank you for that. We do need some good feedback and stuff.
25 plus all the other under the table. So to be honest, that's something that the good work. So if foreign like college is paying for a new business, you will pay $900 to register. I'm not paying that. So even if I'm tipping everyone, it will never reach. It will only get to the amount. So that's something that is doing well for Liberians.
So it's almost like they're making it convenient
for Liberians to do business.
Okay, financially now.
Yes.
Well, because it's in US dollars too, and a lot of Liberian businesses are done in LD.
Yeah.
So there has to be
No, it's
offset.
equivalent. You even so it's
No, but that's why the price is lower though, so that because a lot of Liberians are doing business in LD, it's only fair. Foreigners, like, this is not my house.
Is it 25 across the board?
No, it's not.
It's in Liberian dollars, so I'm just
She's converting it from regular dollars.
Oh, okay. So like I'm converting it, it's like 3,500. Yes, so
it's even less than $25.
Okay.
so everybody knows it, so it's fair for us.
And speaking for the business registry, sorry, it's just the way my mind works, but I think that if you had levels, you know, because ultimately what causes or makes the system run better or they can better themselves is they have the funding to do so, and I believe they get the funding from the registration fees. So if I want to register a corporation, and so I assume it should be more than $25.
Right.
No, the article of incorporation is separate. I'm just talking about the
actual registration.
The actual registration, but the article of incorporation, if you know a corporation is different. So you go to the foreign affairs. That's where you do the article of incorporation, so it's different. But like after your article of incorporation and everything, to go to the business registry, the actual fee is actually
$25.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
less than that if the rate is high because it's like $3.
Okay.
So practically for like growing business from article and incorporation to the business registration and everything, you would not spend more than $350, including the tips.
Yeah.
So for like growing business.
We need to talk about tipping, ladies.
So let's talk about
The
tips.
first time you pay is just the first time you pay. I have a mantra. I treat people. I teach people how to treat me. And if I have to pay people to do their jobs, I am teaching them that they can steal from me, because that's what it is. It's not tipping. They are employed. Unlike a lot of people in this country, they actually have a job. And when we pay tips, all we are doing is feeding a very, very bad system. It should only cost you $25. It shouldn't cost you $350 by the time you finish, because your articles of incorporation cost. You're having to pay taxes. As soon as you start feeding that, I was at the bank the other day, and the person in front of me tipped the bank teller. Now you're mixing personal money with bank money? There should be no mixing of personal. We're the only ones who can initiate that change. And I know it takes longer. But I also think if we could actually get everybody to stand together, it will stop. But as long as the tipping happens, we're going to be tipping forever. And that's why it takes me forever to get my paperwork. Because I don't.
Because you refuse to
I
tip.
refuse to tip.
Yeah.
So I think maybe one of the, what would be good for the discussion if we called it what it is. Okay, we're gonna call a spade, bribery. You know, that's what it is. And, you get to the point where you're like, no, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna fall prey. And then you get into the situation and you find you just don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, but, and I'm not saying it's something that started recently, 30 years ago it was the same. You go to a government office and the pen is right there in clear view, and you'll say, Oma, I got pen.
You gotta put ink in the pen.
Yeah. And that was the code for what you had to do. So, and I think it's something that can be changed. I was in Ghana last year and went in the store in the airport and took my passport out and left it on the table looking at stuff, and I just didn't realize it. And so I was sitting talking with friends waiting for my flight, and the young lady comes out and she said, did anybody leave an American passport? And I looked at my purse, I said, oh, Mom. I was like, it's mine, can you please bring it? And she said to me very clearly, and I was shocked. She said, we're not allowed to touch it. I was like, oh. She said, we're not allowed to touch it. So I got up, went for my passport. I wanted to give her something. She said, no, thank you, ma'am, this is my job. And I thought, I said, this can happen. It can happen in Liberia and everywhere else. But it's just that where do, like she said, like Joe said, that we have to present a united front. Yeah. But if you have some foreign nationals that are doing the bribes and they're able to do it more so they just expect that everybody has to, follow. Yeah. You don't have a choice. So your document that takes 5 days to process can happen in 5 or 2 days if you do the tipping, the bribery, or you can sit for a month.
And your paper keeps going to the bottom of the pile.
Exactly. If if not under the table.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something that you find in every area, everywhere you go. You know, not only at the, and I'm not saying at the register, I didn't see that, but everywhere, you know, everybody. Oma, what you got for me? I said I have Jesus.
Where are my sisters? Eh? Where are my 26? Eh? The police pulled me over the other day. They said, "Oh my, I'm working on a Sunday." I said, "Do not even think of asking me for something. How dare you abuse your power?" And he was like, "Oh, look at his feet." I don't put up with it because the first time I pay is just the first time. As soon as you pay, you're
First of
supposed
many.
to.
Yes, no.
Right?
Yeah.
And
You're
also,
sucked in.
as a Canadian, I really can't. My bum will get thrown in jail at home. Right? Every trap that I was paying tips.
Wow.
And it's not something
Can't do it.
we're trying to get a contract from a company, I won't call the name, but part of their they have a due process, a due diligence form that you fill in. And as an organization, you have to show them where in your, you know, your policies and procedures that you do not, you know, subscribe to this bribery. So there are some companies that are getting, you know, because either attachment to other foreign companies where they're trying to instill these things, you know. And I believe if we instill it, it can happen. You know, it's gonna take it. It's not easy,
Yeah.
but it can happen.
Yeah.
But that's we're just gonna call a spade a spade. That's what it is.
That's why we're here. We're here to call a spade a spade. We're here to have these conversations. So thank you all. Thank you. The feedback is really, really good. Again, the positive feedback is always welcoming as well. So we are here to talk about, you know, what's happening, but we're also supposed to talk about the positive side of our entire system. So there's surveys that we handed out to each of you. If you can fill that out as well, you don't have to do it now, but before we leave, we want to take that back with us so we can have some information, you know, just to kind of get an idea of what you guys are thinking, okay? So let's talk about business development, right? So when we're talking about business development, obviously for your business to grow. So from the thought process to it becoming a full-blown operation, right? So let's see, what are like the business development tools that you all have been presented, that you use, or you have intentions of using, if there are any? No?
Are there business development tools? I'm not being facetious.
No,
I've
I'm
never
totally
used them. If
agree.
there is something I don't know exists.
No?
Yeah, some of us have our business plan, which we have had to use it to acquire loan or anything else. Just have it as a business.
So you currently have a business plan,
Yeah.
but you haven't been able to use it for anything outside of just basically registering your business. Okay. So let's talk about what we could have if we had development tools. What would benefit you as business owners?
So one of my fortes is business writing. Okay. So and I started once I just set my mind that I was here to stay. I looked at different options of make money, and one of the things I do, I write business plans, and so I talked to a lot of people, and they just had the articles of incorporation and didn't really have a business plan. And your business plan is actually your footprint of how you're going to run your organization, who you're going to hire, what are your opportunities, what are your competitors, you know that kind of thing, the demographic, who you're going after for your business. All of those things will help you in the business plan. But I found out there are a lot of people, a lot of businesses that do not have a business plan. You know, and I think that's one of the best tools that any business can have, because from the get-go, you know, these are the people I'm going after. So for Dee, you know, ready-made, so you know she can decide that I'm going out after the young, the this, the that, you know, that demographic. I'm going after professional young women and men who are looking to look, you know, a certain way, incorporate African pieces into their business attire, that kind of stuff. Who are my competitors? You know, it gives you the opportunity to do a SWOT analysis, basically your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, that kind of stuff. So it will direct you. It will actually be that you can go through, and it helps you. So that's one of the best tools. So if and I'm not advertising business here, but
Advertising, okay.
but if you need, you should have a business tool for any organization, any company, doesn't matter the size, because you can go back to it and it will help you, you know, like let's say you fall into a little slump and you can go back to it and say, hey, well, this is what we're going to do, so you can reach out to a different demographic of people within the community, you know. So I'd encourage everybody to get one, and it will really, really help you.
Because it has been very useful for me.
Yeah, oh, very. So like if you go to a bank for a loan,
For my business.
yeah, the bank will ask you what's your business plan. Do you have a business plan?
Okay. So the takeaway here is we need a business plan. We need to, you know, I was watching, what's the movie? King Richard.
Okay.
Yeah, Will Smith just won the Oscar, right? The Oscar for the controversial Oscar. So I was watching it yesterday, actually, and there was a sign. Obviously, the movie is about Serena and Venus Williams' father. And as they were going to the tennis court every day, they had a sign that says, if you do not plan, what is it? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what it is. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So basically, your business plan is obviously planning for success, right? And if you don't have a business plan, then you're almost planning to fail in business. So I was really impressed by it. I just kept seeing it every time they go to the tennis court. They had this sign, and he was just this father that just pushed his children. But if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that's our takeaway for today. Okay. Now we're talking about a business plan, but let's see if there are other tools. Like, have you had any training or anything like that that coincides with what you want to do?
No, sorry. Exist your name.
Say your name.
I'm Sephora.
Sephora.
You had the LRA training.
Yeah.
Was it recently?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So any other training? Okay.
From building markets, but I think they are closed now.
Yeah. So it was a USAID.
Yeah, USAID program.
Okay.
They have a business training.
And that was recently as well?
No.
It was
2014,
20 to 2018,
2017.
Yeah, about
2017.
And I attended one at Mexico.
Okay.
Yes, I feel like somewhere around last year.
Okay. So,
the LRA training was actually about tax payment. They were teaching us as business owners, real estate tax, income tax, rental tax, and so forth. But I've attended two major trainings from the USA Exchange. That is the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So I was fortunate and I did the 6-week training in business and entrepreneurship. I also did the Yali regional, and we were fortunate to have attended the game park in Ghana. And last year I did the Mercy Cup training too for business and entrepreneurship.
okay, good.
Can I ask one question? How do you find out about these trainings?
Yeah.
What are the source? How do you find out about these trainings?
So the first one started with the Yali regional. So I had this friend who told me about it, and I decided to give attention and I applied. So I was fortunate, and then when the Mandela came up, I also applied and I was fortunate. And for the Mercy Cups, I saw it online. For one, Afri Tribe, so they are actually into promoting young girls into business and entrepreneurship. And I also applied, and I was fortunate to.
Well, training is good, so it's part of a network.
Yeah.